Assalamu alaikum, fellow enthusiasts. This is going to be a playlist covering analyzing different art breaks from Pakistan's history, because there's a rich history of art from Pakistan, but it's not recognized enough. Today, we're going to be studying a piece by Abdul Rehman Chugtai, a major painter from Pakistan. He was born in Lahore in 1897. He was a painter, and his style was very unique. His paintings are very distinct, and they're majorly inspired by Mughal art and miniature painting. And this painting is also an example of that. He is considered the first significant modern Muslim artist from South Asia, so we're very honored to have him here. And he is also considered the national artist of the Pakistan. He was given the title of Khan Bahadur in 1934 too. Today, we're going to be studying a piece named Maiden with an oil lamp, as you can see on the screen here. Fish. Let's get to, before analyzing or reading the piece, let's get to know what is the piece made out of. It's watercolor. First of all, it was made in 1967. It's made by watercolor and ink on paper, which is a very interesting and distinct choice, because watercolors are kind of harder than what mostly artists use, which is oil paints. And the paper is signed at the lower left. It's a paper, not a canvas. Still, it's so important. Still, it has so much significance. The size is 55.2 over 67.4 centimeters. Maiden with a lamp. The meaning of this painting is love. The lamp represents a heart of a lover who gets light from their significant other or whoever is their beloved. If the lamp is extinguished from the grief of when they separate the lovers, it lives again. It blows even faster. That's love. And that's why this painting will be better understood and touched to the actual lovers whose hearts have been burned. Okay, now let's read the painting. First of all, let's see what kind of painting it is. It is not abstract, it's not realism. It is inspired mainly by Mughal art, as you can see on the face of the portrait, and it's a portrait work. It isn't a collage, neither abstract. There's not much texture, which is impossible with watercolors. And as you can see, that the painting is very smooth and very even. There are no left out areas even, and that's just how the painter has mastered his skill. The shadows and light are distinct, and that's so hard with watercolors, but he has portrayed that so professionally. Portrait, again, it's a reference from Mughal art, but he has put it in his own style. The composition. The lady takes the most of the space, but that also has meaning. It is not script. Let's hear about culture effect. The painting is made in 1967, a few years after independence. So culture was a major thing back then, and as you can see by the clothes and the jewelry and oil lamps, that is the culture of Pakistan showing in the painting. Composition again. The lady takes the most of the space, and she has a lamp in her hands. The lady, she is wearing a red kameez and a cloak. As you can see on the cloak, there are thin lines going towards the right. Her face is also pointing towards the right, her nose especially. Both the things, and the whole figure is pointing towards the right where there is a lamp. The lamp is taking up less space, but the colors are very important here. Red, dark red is only used two times in the paintings, one in the knees of the figure and the lamp. But in the lamp, the red is majorly used, and that's why our eyes gravitate towards it. From the figure's face and the flowiness of the cloak, we get to see the lamp, which is amazing. It's so much thought put into a work. Okay, light. Let's read out the light. The room is very dull, and the lamp is giving the light. We can, and this depicts the darkness and the heart of a lover when they separate, and the lamp, gives us light, a ray of hope, a ray of light. Maybe the artist, Abdul Rehman Chugtai, also experienced something related to this, and that's what inspired him to do this piece. Okay, let's hear more about the materials itself. Watercolors. Watercolors are not expensive, but by 1967, the pigments were majorly expensive, and they were like real actual pigments, and that is very expensive. Now let's focus on three major things. One major thing, context. The figure is wearing heavy jewelry, which may show rich people, right? At the time, rich people. Yes. Let's talk more about the focal point, which is the lamp. But with the lamp, when come near the painting, you wander around and your eye gravitates towards like the different color in there, right? And jewelry, there is a very light blue, rosy color used. We complement red with green, and blue is related to green. So that's a very nice complement color used by the artist for the viewer to be more interested and dive into the piece. Uh, yes. The painting is, of course, old. It's not from, you know, now's time. Otherwise, it would be very extremely different. There would be more scrapeness. The composition would be different. The culture effect would be different. The shapes would be different, right? Okay. Let's finish this session off with a few things I wanted to say. Just look, we analyzed a simple word that you could have just passed through. Have you ever wondered that you can relate to a piece, if you have been in love, you can relate to a piece so much only if you try to look at it from a different perspective. In a gallery, if you're walking or just scrolling on the internet, you look at a piece and you just pass through it, right? You spend like 5 seconds on it at the most. But if you discuss it with someone, it will totally change your perspective and way of thought of you looking into these pieces. That's why it's amazing how much painting can hold that we just miss out, right? We need to realize our mistakes and be more careful while we scroll down these paintings. And here's the artist put so much thought as we discussed the focal points, the colors, the light, so much theme. There's so much thought put into it, which we just do not give as much as importance. This is our first session, that's why I want to get this stuff out. Art is very important in our lives, but historical works are getting forgotten. Okay, we have Louvre and many historical paintings there, but they're like the only famous ones. And especially in a country like Pakistan, we do not even have those, except some galleries where no one even visits. But if they do, they spend most 5 seconds on every single piece. We need to realize our mistakes and more focus on these projects. Like I posted this video, people may get inspired and promote this piece. And this will allow us to promote our culture as a whole. if if you don't know your history, you do not have a future. We need to understand that. And with that, I would like to finish our session today. Very happy to have you all here. Thank you so much for attending the session. We'll meet you again in the next video. Allah Hafiz.